Hello, my name is Ruby,
I'm Jessie.
and we are the Pinup Pumpkins Horror Podcast. So, we're an interactive podcast that focuses on disability, LGBTQIA, and feminist readings of horror, and we aim to make critical theory more accessible to a larger audience.
Yeah, and because it's interactive while the podcast is going on, if you have any input or anything, you can have your voice heard on the show too. So,
Yep. Okay, so that being said, we're just going to do a little intro video so you can get to know us. And I have a couple questions. So, first question,
yes.
what got you into horror?
I was like maybe 11 or 12, and my stepdad was watching a lot of horror movies at the time, and I was like, I want to do this. Just because it looked fun, and you know, when you're a kid and your parents or whoever watches horror movies and they like send you out of the room and they're like, don't come out until this movie is over. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to watch this movie. So my first horror movie was Silent Hill. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like, I'm fine. I can do this. Until I tried to watch The Grudge, and like 12 minutes in, I was sobbing and like
Yeah,
needed to be comforted. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
that's funny because my first movie was, I think my first like horror movie that I saw was The Ring.
Oh, that one's so good, but that's so scary. Mm.
And I like to be a creepy little child, and every time I like went to the pool, I had super long hair, and so I would like come out and just put it in front of my face.
You're going Samara mode.
And honestly, like as a child, like I was a really creepy child, not gonna lie. And I liked to creep out my sister, and I've always loved Halloween, and um I wanted to be like one of those scary kids in a horror movie. I that time has passed,
Lifelong
but
dream.
I would still be in a horror movie though, so be fun.
For sure.
Yep.
Dang. And so how old were you when you watched that, probably?
Oh my goodness, probably like too young. Too young. I don't even know, but
Just too
at
young.
least, yeah, like 6 to 8.
Oh, wow. Legend. That's rough. Yeah.
Maybe more like 8. But
Safer assumption.
yes. My dad will also like he was really big into sci-fi, and every single time we came home, he either had like Harry Potter on or X-Files or CSI. So I'd sit there and watch CSI as a child, and my mom would come in and she'd be like, "Why are you letting them watch that?" Like it's just yeah. So and then I'd have nightmares, and I liked spooky stuff, but then I would get scared.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
As an adult, more worth it than as a child, though.
yeah,
A little more rational. You can rationalize it
yeah.
a little bit better.
That's true. Yep.
So you
So yeah,
said you were watching Insidious this week?
I watched Insidious for the first time today.
Today.
Uh, today, earlier today.
How did that
It,
go?
it was an adventure. So I don't know about you and what is most scary to you, but I am so freaked out about ghosts because I, I believe in ghosts. I think they're
Me
real,
too.
and so um like I can't I hate all of the paranormal activities, and the conjurings are just so scary to me. Like I don't know. It's just like ghosts that just freak me out. But more so it's like the things that you don't see, or so I thought the first part of Insidious was super scary, but the second part, I don't know, the suspense in the first half was a lot more scary to me than the
Yeah.
second half.
I feel like
Uh,
seeing a glimpse of something is scarier than seeing it like do its thing.
right, exactly. Like I always find it more scary when a ghost like has no contact with the person,
Hmm.
but then in the second half, there's like a ghost that's like choking someone out. And I don't know, that's just like not as scary to me. That might sound weird, but it just, I don't know, not.
Yeah, for sure. And also in the second part when he's like, spoilers, but this movie is so old. The second part where he's like in the, I don't remember what they call it, like the other or something, the other side,
Oh yeah, yeah,
whatever they call it. When it is like the ghost that's choking him out, it's just like fog and like a regular person.
yeah.
There's like no effects or anything.
Yep, it's like, look at this spooky person. But I did scream one time, and that one time was like when they're all sitting at the table, and then the red face is just
Oh
there.
yeah, I think that's the scariest part of the whole movie. It's like
Yeah.
scary Darth Maul.
It's scary Darth Maul.
I mean, if you think Darth Maul is already scary, then it's just scarier Darth Maul, but that's, you know.
Oh, I'm just gonna describe it like that from now on. And like, I'm sure because I saw it today, in 2022, and not when it came out.
Hmm.
But like when he had like the big claws, I'm like, oh, it's Slender Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Slenderman
was a lot.
is so pervasive to like
Mhm,
everything now.
mhm, mhm. Yep, the Babadook.
When
Um,
did Insidious even come out? I don't remember. A long time ago though. I was like a child.
yeah, it had to be maybe 2012,
That sounds good.
maybe. I don't know.
If we're wrong, don't hate us, but 2012 sounds like reasonable.
Don't quote me on that,
Yeah.
but when the world ended.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. When it just started
Mhm.
getting worse and worse every single year.
Yeah, we won't go down that road.
No, no, we don't need to be more sad than we already are.
Okay, so I have a second question,
Hmm.
and that is, why did you want to do a podcast?
I have kind of always wanted to talk about horror stuff. And I do that in my daily life with my husband and people around me, but not really in like a critical way. And I love
Mhm.
looking at stuff like more intense. It's a curse I have. I have to research everything all the time. So when you were mentioning that you potentially wanted to do that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my opportunity.
And
So,
I'm so, so happy that you did because I love you.
oh, I love you too.
So you like to do all of the research, right?
Correct. I love it.
Yeah. I I just go in not knowing a thing, and I'm just along for the ride, and I like to make my own meanings out of everything because I'm a little English major, and the curtains are not just red to me, they're the meaning of blood and love and death.
The big three.
Yeah.
Blood, love, and death.
Yep, yep, there you go. I'll just pull things out of midair. Part of the reason why I asked, like, why did you want to do a podcast? Because, like we both said earlier, we have super anxiety.
Extremely.
And so, of course, we have to pick the most public platform to talk about
For sure.
anything.
And allow people to talk to us while we're doing it, which
No, no
bold.
pressure. Yeah. So, I could say anything and it'd be live. Fun times.
That's good to remember.
Okay. My bad.
No, you're good.
So, I actually, I used to be really afraid of talking in general to
Hmm.
like people and like publicly, especially. Like, I was just horrified of saying something wrong, um, and just had so much anxiety about that. I don't know. I think happens to a lot of disabled and queer people. Like, they feel like their voices have been taken away, and I just feel in a better place to talk about.
Yeah, and especially because you're talking from that perspective and thinking about things in that way. I feel like
Right.
it's like kind of liberating in a way to be like, here's my perspective on this and why I feel
Yeah.
this way about this.
Yes. And horror is the perfect genre to do that because I think that it shows things that it gets away with a lot that a lot of other genres don't,
For
and
sure.
it shows people that are also not usually in mainstream. So it could be like outcasts or you know, weird people when they weren't in the mainstream media. Even if those representations might not have been best, we still can like find ourselves and relate ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That and like you said, it's good to be critical about it in a good and a bad way because they get away with it sometimes for the
Mhm.
better and sometimes for the worse.
Yep. And sometimes it like, especially with like mad people or people who have mental illness, um, like it can shape people's views about that too. So like the horror genre is pretty powerful in shaping people's views about things. So
For sure.
that being said, I do not claim to speak for everyone,
Oh yeah.
or like I'm not trying to speak for the whole disability community or queer community, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like this is just my opinion.
Purely our own perspectives of how we view the
Yes.
world and how we experience the world, which is going to be different for everyone. And I think that's good to have it interactive as well because we can get perspectives of people who aren't us and have different life experiences than us and, talk about that. And
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think that's just so great to be able to elevate certain voices that maybe don't get that opportunity,
mhm.
or like we just say something completely off the walls that I don't know, just everybody has a different perspective on film, and
Mhm.
I like to be surprised and taken a different way,
Yeah.
maybe
Mhm.
what I thought
Because it could be something you never thought about and somebody else brings it up and you're like, "Oh shit. You're right." Am I allowed to
yeah,
curse?
oh
Okay, good.
yes,
Good. I have a terrible mouth.
me too, so we're
Good.
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 Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, 18 and up, we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
curse,
that's right.
we're we're literally potty mouths, it's fine.
That's fine. So, what's your favorite horror movie,
Mm. Oh my god.
or some of your favorites? Because I don't think if you asked me that I could pick one.
Right, it's so hard because I like so many different movies for different reasons, but I have narrowed it down, I think, to maybe four-ish.
Okay,
Um,
lay it on
and,
me.
okay. So they're gonna be different from when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, my favorites were Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, and Corpse Bride, and I still love those movies. But in the more horror genre, I would say I really like Suspiria. The soundtrack is some. I love Cornstarch Blood. And just the scenes, like the backdrop of the dance studio is so beautiful, and it's so cool. Like every single person on that set filmed in a different language. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I haven't even seen Suspiria, which is like it's on my list. I need to do that because I am a
It was
poser. But
no. I feel like I never went to film school, but I definitely feel like, oh, I like Suspiria. Like I'm so cool, and film student, even though I'm not. But it's just good. Like, okay, so honestly, like the acting they had to go over it with subtitles, so it's not like you're not getting the audio from the actual actor. So that's a little bit wonky, but the story is still cool. And if you like witches, then it's just really good. I like it. And then there's another movie that I love that takes place in a dance academy, and it's called Climax. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it recently. I've heard it's kind of like one of those movies that you either really love or you don't care for.
Hmm. Okay. I would be very interested in seeing like why people don't like it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
and
it,
I might be wrong, but that's at least what I feel like I've heard.
mhm,
I might be
yeah,
talking from nowhere.
no, you're probably right. I just like again, I would love to know the other perspectives on it. I'm wondering if they don't like it because it feels so real and horrifying in that sense.
It's possible.
Um, so the basic, I don't know. I don't want to give it away.
That's okay.
I
I'll
might wait.
watch it. I'll watch it.
Oh my, yeah, I'm gonna wait and let you watch that. So very good. And then the newer movies that I like that have come out, probably like 2020 and after, would be I really like Last Night in Soho and Fresh.
And I haven't seen either of those either. They're on my list. It's stuff that I've been wanting to watch, but like just timing hasn't been right yet.
Yeah, yeah. I know you like the B horror.
Oh yeah,
B.
for sure.
Mhm.
Like
Different than the B
basically.
movie.
Oh yeah, well, I love that too. Who doesn't? The awkward interactions. Love them.
It's kind of a horror in its own right.
Yeah, you're correct. It's horror, but in a different way. Not
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like if we're watching like a horror movie, it's pretty much going to be a B horror movie from like the 70s or 80s. We
Mm-hmm.
have like a discussion where like, do we want to watch a good movie or a movie? And a movie usually just means like a B movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
There's something so fun about that.
yeah, it's very enjoyable. I mean, you basically commentate the entire time because stuff is just so bizarre sometimes. And you're like, why is this like this? Which then I'm like,
Mhm.
gotta find out everything about it. And sometimes they're so like not, I don't know, sometimes they're so small that there's like nothing. And then I'm just like, I gotta know. But yeah, I love them. It's so much fun. And then I don't know. So like from that, I think from that era, I've talked to you about Basket Case. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a movie by Peter Jackson called, I think it's called Dead Alive here. Um, it's so ridiculous, like a New Zealand movie. Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. We watch
Mm-hmm.
so many that like they
Right.
kind of just blend together eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I love Pan's Labyrinth. That's one of my favorite movies that I've ever seen. The visuals in that are just so like stunning.
Yeah, that is an amazing movie that is worth all of the credit
Oh, for
and
sure.
the hype. It's gorgeous. It's heart wrenching, and well, I really like that movie because it has like a real horror aspect, like in that time period of
Hmm.
when everything was going on. And it's cool because it's like a fantasy horror, right?
Hmm.
It's so unique and
Yeah.
it's such a
And
good one.
like in terms of art and visuals, like my favorite art style is surrealism, and I feel like that handles that like it's like
Hmm.
just a beautiful display of surrealism in film.
Yes,
Like
yes.
real enough, but not real, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. Very dreamlike.
Yeah. And then
Hmm.
recently I've been watching like a lot of like Korean horror movies
Hmm.
because every
Okay.
single one I've seen has been good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very scary.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah. Really scary and just really creative, and it's like such a different like way of approaching horror than a lot of the movies I see like from over here, you know.
Right. Yeah, I would love to kind of go into some of those um, in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be fun.
And then also I love The Ring. That one's really good. And
Mhm.
I love Saw 1. I love the Saw franchise. We'll get into this at another time because I could talk about it for ever. But I like the Saw franchise for various reasons, but I genuinely feel like Saw 1 is a good movie,
Mhm.
and I like that
Fair.
movie very much.
It is pretty good. Did you know that Saw is actually like it can be considered like a disability horror?
No, I didn't know that.
We can also go into that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'd be interested to know about that.
yeah, yeah. Because Jigsaw, I think, has cancer,
Right. Yeah. I
and like
mean,
that's why.
horrors of the healthcare system generally.
Yeah, true. Very. So yep.
Yeah.
And I also really love the 70s style of movie, like
Mhm.
70s, 80s. It's just horror that's unmatched. And I like I like horror movies that are filmed in daytime or in light. Like a big pet peeve of mine is if the whole entire horror movie that I'm watching is just I can't see anything. I'm like, please someone turn on a light. It's so aggravating. Like I know they're trying to set the scene to be scary. And darkness has its like scary moments, I guess, but like it just really bothers me because I'm like, why would you spend so much money to just film darkness?
And it's so much scarier if you're not relying on like the
Mhm.
cover of darkness to like amp up your scares or whatever. So that being said, like how'd you feel about Midsummer? Because like all of it is in the light.
Yes, yes. So I went pretty in depth on my Instagram story about how I felt about Midsummer.
Plug it, plug
Um,
it, plug it.
but I like that that is done in the light. But I think I also mentioned that I like The Wicker Man a little bit more.
Hmm.
I like horror that happens in daytime or like because you don't expect it to,
Right.
and that makes it feel a little bit more eerie to me. And also, just to me personally, I feel like horror is very similar to real life. And in Midsummer, so it's very cult based, and there are people that can easily be sucked in to a cult. So
For sure.
it's not like it doesn't happen.
Right.
And as you're watching, you can see why it does happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just very interesting.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it from the perspective of like quote unquote like normal people, just like your everyday person, just like you would see
Mhm.
your friends or
Mhm.
whatever, and they're going to this place, and by the end of it, it's like, who are they?
Right, right. And I love when horror movies get that human psychology right too. Um, how many times have you heard someone say, "Oh, like if that was happening to me, like I wouldn't do that," or that sort of thing? Like it might not be realistic, but like when horror movies, when each character reacts in a different way and it feels realistic to like maybe like a trauma response or like them being scared, I really like that too. Mhm.
Definitely. Oh man, we have so much to watch and unpack.
So much, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I'm
So
so excited to hear like what you have to say about everything because it's so easy to be like, this is how I think about a movie, so this is how this movie is. But discussing it, like already, there's things you've said that I'm like, oh, I've never thought about it that way.
hmm and I'm really excited to hear all the background information and the way that you think about horror movies too, because we're obviously different people and we think differently,
Hmm.
but that's what makes it so enriching, and I think that it will make for a really interesting conversation.
For sure. For sure. Yeah,
So
me
excited.
too. Yeah.
So, I guess there is just like some housekeeping stuff
Yeah.
that I want to say.
Mhm.
So, we have a little cauldron here.
Beautiful.
And what we're planning to do is each time we have our podcast, whoever is a follower and who's listening will put your name into the cauldron. And then we will pick out a winner and they'll win a free prize. And it will probably be some art that I make.
Yes.
So,
The best
yes.
prize of all.
Woo, fun
Truly.
prizes. And corn. So.
You're saying corn?
It's corn!
I can tell you all about it.
I guess corn and horror sound similar.
Oh, that makes more sense to me.
It's corn themed. It's corn
And
themed.
Children of the Corn, it could be.
I think we need to review Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cover my ass and say I haven't seen that movie either.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page with that one.
But because corn is so important right now, we need to do it.
You're correct. We need to catch the I don't even know. Catch the bird before it flies away. Is that a saying that people say? Probably not.
Sounds good to me.
As long as it makes sense.
Yep. It is now. It is now.
Good. Visionary over here.
So, for our first podcast episode, we are going to do a triple feature of Texas Chainsaw, which was highly requested, X and Pearl. And we're going to see how those kind of relate. And I'm really excited. So,
Me too.
that will be 7 p.m. on Thursday. Not this Thursday, but the next. What's that
September 22nd? Yes.
Sounds good.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Awesome. Okay, cool.
And just have to bear with us while we figure some stuff out. Might be a little rough at first, but just be nice. We'll get there.
Fine.
We'll get there.
I feel like a lot of people who are watching at first kind of know who I am.
Yeah.
And they know that I'm a big dork. So
yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Stay spooky.
Stay
Until
spooky.
next time.